Hello, hello, hello. Hey friends, Svava Brooks here. If you're watching this replay, thank you so much for stopping by. As I said, my name is Svava Brooks. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I'm here on Thursdays with my fellow survivor thrivers as I am encouraging, supporting, validating, cheering on my fellow survivor thrivers as we find our way through the journey. And I'm excited to be sharing with you that my book, Journey to the Heart, is now available as an audiobook. So if you're looking for daily support through your healing journey, then please check it out. You can find it on my website, svavabrooks.com/audiobook, or you can find it in the link below. But if you're here with me right here, right now, please say hello. Please let me know that you're here so I can welcome you to the conversation and the community. Is always good to be with you. We start our chats here with a check-in. Come as you are. Everyone is welcome. Hey, Rob, how are you doing? And for people that are new here, I am coming to you from Portland, Oregon today, and I'm keeping my eyes out. We might be getting some snow today. So we're kind of excited about it, but mixed feelings because the spring flowers were just coming up this week. So we'll see how they survive it, but we're getting a little bit of taste of winter this weekend. Thank you, Rob. Lovely to catch you too. How are you, my friend, all the way in the UK? I did see the snow that you shared a video. There's snowing over there for you. Did it stick on the ground? Hey, Sue. How are you, my friend? Thanks for those flowers. They always bring me joy, make me smile. You were worried about your connection. Good. Yeah, I was thinking about that too because I had a little bit of a choppy connection earlier today, but I have been for a few hours on the computer, on the Zoom today, as the rest of the world, so many of us, right? This is how we are doing our work and connecting and relating. It's been holding up. So glad to hear that. Glad to be able to get through my appointments today. And I had a presentation to do at noon. So we don't need that additional stress of technology going south on us. But yes, I don't know if you saw my picture. You know, here I am set up to do my video calls. And Penny, of course, was sitting right here. I just kept waiting for him to decide to walk across my screen. And that has happened. So, hey, Sue, how are you, friend? You're doing okay today? I'm so glad you're here. And I'm glad to hear you're doing better. I hear you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Right? So much grief and grief in the world right now. So I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here with us. And your cat, Kira, is here on your lap for purring. That's great. Yeah, who knows? I haven't seen the troublemakers here for the last hour. They're probably with my son right now, who is working out in the other room. So if you hear him, that's who's in the background here. Hopefully Elizabeth is incoming. All right. All right. Well, what we usually do, right, my friends, we just show up, do our thing, and see who shows up, see who wants to hang out. I've been talking to a few of my clients and colleagues over the last few days. People are feeling the intensity, right, in the world. I don't know what it is. People are feeling it right now, including myself. I'm not going to just say people, other people. This people's too. So I thought today we would just have a little refresher, talk a little bit about self-compassion, and do a little bit of self-compassion meditation together. And with that, I would do some Reiki, and just to kind of help our nervous system get some support, some warmth, and some kindness. So, how does that sound? All right, Rob. All right. All right. Got it. Sounds great. Well, you guys are always so accommodating, right? Always so nice. Always so nice. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Always bring me joy. I enjoy being here and hanging out with you guys. Always. Always, always, always. Let's see here. I pulled up some notes. What? What, Rob? Can you believe in the time I've known you, I now need my glasses to read the comments? Well, you've seen me with my glasses on. Sometimes I get away with my contact lenses still, but I don't think they're going to be lasting much longer. But I'm glad you're here, right? And I'm glad you can read the comments, right? So, yeah, that's part of the aging process. Yep. So, my friends, when you think of self-compassion, what comes up for you? When we think of self-compassion, what comes up? Yes, age. Yes, so when I say self-compassion, right? When I first started learning about self-compassion, I was like, that hooey wooey, lovey-dovey stuff. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. That's probably it's selfish, or, I need to be tough. I need to push through. I need to just, um, yeah, like I said, just be strong, right? And that is when it came to me. But what I knew often, and most of the time, I was very kind and generous and friendly to other people. So it was interesting when I started learning and looking into the concept of, right, extending the same kindness and compassion to myself that I did so naturally do for others. So I don't know about you. Am I the only one? But as I started reading about self-compassion, and you guys have heard me say, right, I was able to participate in a course or a training with Kristen Neff a few years back. And it was very helpful. It's very helpful. And as you know, everything that I do now is packaged into self-compassion. And there's a reason why, and we're going to touch upon that a little bit today. So Sue says, a little bit of that is better than beating myself up. I'm finding when I remember to do it. Yes, I hear you, right? And that's the other piece. There's one thing knowing it, knowing about it, and the other thing is doing it, especially when we need it the most. And when do we need self-compassion the most? Question? Any thoughts? Rob says, I have an inner child response, which is do indulgent things, but an adult response is listen to my mind and body and stratify my needs and boundaries to recognize my worthiness. Yes. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, friend. Welcome. And so, Rob, I'm just reading your chat message here again, which is to do okay. All right. I'm just wanting to make sure that I understood your comment. Needed the most when we feel the worst and are the least likely to do it. Yes, I know. I know. I totally get it. And that was the most frustrating part. I don't know about you guys, but I was just like, this is like, if literally felt crazy making back then. It was just like, I know it doesn't help me to be this hard on myself. But why is it that it's like, it seems to be impossible? I have impossible standards, for myself. I'm incredibly hard on myself. And when I need my own kindness the most, I am brutal. Also reminds of you and the guiding love you inspire. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, Rob. I am so glad that self-compassion, that it reminds you of me, and that I'm inspiring you to be kind and gentle with yourself, sweet man, because you deserve it. Yes. I had the feeling you were going to bring that up, right? Alaska episode on Periscope. Was it 2 years back? I blew it open that night. I went straight for it, right? And that is why I love talking about self-compassion. And actually, I was thinking about it today, and this is what I do all day long, help people navigating some challenges after trauma and abuse, right? And I know people are hesitant to start the healing because it's hard, it's painful, it's not fun or pretty, right? We know that the heartbreak and the pain of the messy middle. But I was like, I wondered, and this is what I try to do, is that, reframe a little bit. We're not focusing so much on the hurt as we are on, where we can love ourselves more, where we can add some kindness and celebrate our strengths and remember the truth of who we are. And I do know, that's really my mission and the place from where I serve, because we know about all that. And that is what feeds a lot of our autopilots, but to shift and, okay, we're moving from this to this. So focusing on the hope, the healing, the possibility, the self-compassion, the kindness, the self-care, the grace, the kindness, right? That's the muscle we are practicing, right? And of course, all that is an exchange between here and here. So, but I'm glad that you still remember that, Rob, because I still remember that. It felt a little risky back then when I was like, okay, I'm just going to tell them how it is. This is how it is, at least my truth. So self-compassion, right? The 3 components of self-compassion. And the thing that I love about teaching self-compassion, the same way I love to help people reconnect with their bodies and understand their bodies and their nervous system, is that we are hardwired to stay safe. Your body and your mind is just going to overrule any thinking about, is this a good idea? It just takes over, right? The same thing that happens in our nervous system, right? The same, we also have that capacity when it comes to healing, restoring our nervous system. And we also have that capacity to, be kind and gentle and generous, really. And what the research is showing us is that, right, we know the hormones, the oxytocin, no, the cortisol hormones that get put into or pumped into our nervous system to handle the stress, right? But there are also hormones, right? The oxytocin that stimulates and heals and reconnects and helps to create balance once the traumatic event is over. So both of those things, both those systems live in our bodies. Hey Cindy, hey friend. How are you doing? Hey EJ, how are you, friend? Thank you, Rob. Good, Cindy. I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. So glad you're better. Some days, some weeks, some months, it's one day at a time. One day at a time. So the self-compassion components, right? The three components are self-kindness versus self-judgment, right? And just like I put it out there and asked you guys, and Sue shared, right? We know that it is more helpful to be kind to myself. But when I need it the most, when I feel like I'm making a mistake or things didn't go according to plan, we are so hard on ourselves and we judge ourselves, and our ego just goes to town, very critical, tears us apart. So it is a process. It is a process to become aware of it and to catch it in the moment, right? Treating ourselves with care and understanding rather than the harsh judgment. And that is, right, actively soothing, actively comforting oneself. And that's the important piece. It's an active thing, right? When we think about self-compassion, it's just not a thinking exercise or something, that a process that we think about. It's something that we actively participate in. And we are going to do a self-compassion meditation later, and I'm going to do some Reiki. So I encourage you guys to hang around for that if you need some soothing for your body, your heart, and your spirit. So let's see here. And so the second component is to remember our common humanity versus isolation, right? When things are hard, what do? What does our body do? It disconnects us, and we naturally isolate. Literally, your nervous system doesn't want to be socially engaged. So I hate being late for anything. I usually just scrap it if I'm going to be late. So here I am. You're experiencing my growth. Yes. Yay, EJ. We are so glad you made it. Yes. Yes, my friend. Absolutely. We are so glad that you gave yourself the grace to come anyways, right? And that you trusted that you matter. We appreciate you when you come on here, and anytime is good, right? We want to see you, and I'm glad you gave yourself that grace to come on, even though in your book you were late. So everyone is right on time, always. Let's see. And when it comes to people being late or not on time, I don't take that stuff personally, because we don't know what people are dealing with. We have no idea what most people are struggling with or just managing, making it through the day. Just as an example, this morning I had a call with the mother of 4, and she was a little late. And I was like, it's okay. Thank you for giving me time to meditate. I just sat and watched my breath for a few minutes, and I had an email to reply to. It was fine. And she was mortified that she was late. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. Bless your heart. And her 3-year-old twice came and asked for more juice on our call. So I was like, it's okay. You got your hands full. So, um, absolutely okay. I was celebrating her for reaching out because she needed support. And no matter what, 4 kids and all, right? She showed up. So my total loss of time, I hear you, EJ. Just again, an opportunity. I don't want to just say just be, an opportunity to practice being gentle, being gentle. Sue, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Life is full of opportunities to learn and grow. And the question is always, how do I want to handle this? How do I want to respond to it? Am I going to respond from this nervous system? Or do I want to pause and sit back? And thank you, Sue, right? Do I want to respond from kindness? Because that's inherently who I am. I extend the same kindness to you, and I'm work in progress extending that kindness towards myself. But it's like, yeah, walk my talk and learn to really be gentle with myself and this body, because this body has been through enough shame and not enough judgment, right? And we've talked about that. When we are judging ourselves or shaming ourselves, we are literally, right, putting ourselves in a high state of fight and flight. And nope, this body has been through enough. Been through enough. Be gentle with yourself, Cindy. Tears are good. Tears are good. There's a huge stress relief in toxins released from the body through with your tears. So anyways, I was saying common humanity versus the isolation, right, is the second component, like seeing our own experience as part of a larger human experience, not isolating or abnormal, right? It's so helpful and important to remember. Even on a call today, I was leading a group of professionals through a self-care, mindfulness, and self-compassion. And so we talked about stress and stressors. And so to normalize it, right, even in the workplace, what brings us stress, right? We need to talk about it. And then a few courageous souls shared about their stress and stressors. And then I was like, can we, raise hands and to validate that, yes, I saw a few heads going like this. You're not alone, right? We have to remember common humanity. We are not alone. We are not alone, but we forget, right? Because we are meant to be put on a happy face and not to show our challenges or when we're down, because no one wants to hear my sob story or whatever. But this is where we connect, my friends. This is how we remember what brings us together. So it was very, very sweet. And I know as a result, it just brings that workplace closer together and to acknowledge what's going on for us as humans, even at work. So Cindy, I'm so glad to hear it. So glad to hear it. Be gentle and kind with your body. Yes, beautiful, because there's a reason for it. There is a reason. Like I said, what do we know about the hormones that our body creates? That when we are kind and gentle and warm towards our body, we are actually providing the healing that our body needs. So I'm really happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that, Cindy. Yeah. Your body is working so hard for you, right? It's working so hard for you. Right? So the second part of common humanity, recognize that life is imperfect, and so are we, right? Let's see. And so the last piece here, the third component, is mindfulness over mindfulness versus over identification, right? Allowing us to be with the painful feelings as they are and avoid extremes of suppressing or running away with painful feelings. And I know this is a hard one, right? Especially if we haven't had good role models of, supporting individuals, caregivers that made it okay for us to express our feelings. And that's why, right, we end up repressing them. So learning how to be with our feelings, right? And like they say, I think the peak of an experience or feeling is like 90 seconds. It's like or a minute and a half. But because of our bodies, and if we already live in a state of high alert, fight or flight, anything that's uncertainty, if there's uncertainty in the experience we're having, we'll shut it down because we don't know that it's going to come down. We don't have an experience of trusting it. And that's part of the healing journey, we've talked about this here before, right, Cindy? We're breathing through the contraction, right? Catching ourselves in the moment of okay, I'm having a feeling, I'm having anxiety, I'm having a fear. I'm turning towards it with curiosity. I can feel my nervous system. My thing is up my back and my spine. That's my old pattern. I can feel it on standby, but I'm going to sit back, slow down my breath. That is a tough one, Sue, right? And I'm going to just come back here, drop into my breath and remind myself I'm sitting here with Cindy and Sue and Rob and EJ, right? I'm just sitting here with them and I'm looking around. I'm okay. All right. Okay. This is not experience that's happening now. This must be old. And if it's really old, okay, I know I had some rough experiences in childhood. Okay, I'm going to breathe through this, and I may or may not have a memory. I may or may not have the story associated or remember what it was about, but clearly my nervous system is letting me know that there's something going on in there. So, okay, all right. I'm going to breathe through it. I'm going to continue to feel my body, my feet on the ground, right? My favorite, bringing myself here, is placing my hand on my heart. Oh, EJ, I hear you, my friend. If you can, let the tears come, my friend. If you can, my friend. Right? Turning towards myself. This is like I'm befriending this body when it's feeling afraid. I'm befriending and wanting to explore, what is this fear about? What is this fear about? Is it just the uncertainty, or is there something else, right, coming up? And for a lot of us, it's the uncertainty, right? And then, right, just like giving birth, it's like, okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, I'm gonna make it through this one fear roller coaster ride at a time. One fear roller coaster at a time. And sometimes we feel that that energy is so big, we um we reach out to colleagues, and this is where, or colleagues or friends or peers, and it's like, okay, I feel like there's this big pressure in here. I think I need to have a good cry, or I think I really need to talk about this, or I'm not really sure, but I know I need another human present. And that's a sign of compassion. It's like you're recognizing this feels something big, and I'm afraid it's going to just swallow me up whole. And it's nice that to have another human in our space that we know, whether it's just, you know, the voice on the other end, or on a Zoom call, someone that can see you and hear you and just sit with you, that doesn't judge. It makes all the difference. And this is where, you know, we humans, we co-regulate. Yes, EJ, ducking emotions. Yes, absolutely. I hear you. I get it. So I also wanted to touch on, right, the psychological underpinnings of the self-criticism. And the reason why I want to bring this up, because for me, again, it was really helpful to understand why focusing on being good to myself was so important, because it didn't come easy. And I don't think I'm alone. It was way easier for myself just to continue to be hard on myself and hate on myself. But I was tired of how horrible I felt. And so when I understood that if I wanted myself to feel better, and I wanted this body to feel better and not, you know, to get sick, when I saw some of this information, I was like, okay, all right, it's not going to be fun or pretty, but I am going to take the energy that I have used to repress, avoid, because, you know, not on purpose, just that's what I do. And this is what our bodies, you know, entirely wiring does for us. I'm going to use that energy, that life force, as you heard me say, to point it towards what is helpful, what is good. Um, like a boot camp almost, like really being intentional. And so the underpinnings of the self-criticism is that it activates our threat defense system, like I said, which then pumps in cortisol and adrenaline. And cortisol and adrenaline in our body wears our nervous system out. And so a self-compassion practice, right? It's inherently part of who we are, right? It's part of our mammalian caregiving system. And it stimulates and activates creation of oxytocin and opiates. And opiates are, right, natural pain relievers, and oxytocin is if we feel really good, right? It's a hormone that helps us connect and relate. So the research behind this is exploded, right, over the past decade or so, and it is shown to it shows reductions in negative mind states, in anxiety, depression, stress, rumination, perfectionism. That was an important one for me because that was my main coping strategy. And it also links, let's see, self-compassion is strongly linked to well-being, increases in positive mind states, life satisfaction, happiness, connectedness, self-confidence, optimism, curiosity, and gratitude. Self-compassion leads to well-being by holding negative thoughts and emotions in loving, connected presence. So I'm going to pause here. I'm looking at you guys' chat comments here. I hear you, Cindy. Yes, anger stuffed. Yeah, anger and resentment is toxic. Anger, resentment, and shame. Toxic for the body. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Amen, she says. Let's see, I was saying here, Elizabeth said, I'm starting to forget about the abuse. I think that's part of healing journey, but I don't know how to feel about it. Elizabeth, I think it's a good thing. When we start to forget, right? Because that is what starts to happen, right? You're focusing on life now and moving forward. Our focus and attention is less focused on the past. So yes, I say that's a good thing. I can still remember a while back, I was like, when was that? San Diego, that I was probably carpooling or driving kids, but I think I remember being in the car, actually probably on my way home after dropping off kids. And I was thinking exactly that, having a moment of joy and thinking, wow, it's actually been a while since I've like had a big meltdown, or since I've felt really bad about what happened in the past. So it was kind of like I made a note of it, like, I mean, for a while, I was like waiting for the other shoe to fall. I'm like, okay, things have been too good for too long. It's just a matter of time before I start to feel crappy again. But then longer and longer stretches of time passed. And then one day I stopped expecting it. So, which was also a good thing. It's like, yeah, I started to expect more good things than bad things to happen. I knew that I had turned a corner there. So, and I know now what is it that triggers that inner child or that fear. Because right when I move, right, some of those big life events, when I'm making a big travel, then she usually pops up a little bit. Or when I'm doing something new for work, like going on YouTube for the first time, or when I started Periscope, she was like, what are you doing? Really freaked out. I'll be like, it's okay, baby girl. It's okay. I got this. I can feel you. I'm a little nervous too, but I think this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. We're going to be interacting with people. It's going to be great. So, anyways. So, yes, Elizabeth, it's okay to forget. It's okay. You will be reminded of what you need to remember to heal. And we address that as it comes up. We address it as it comes up. At least that's my take on it. So let's see here. And the other thing that's great about self-compassion is, right, a lot of people think about self-esteem. We got to work on our self-esteem. So self-compassion versus self-esteem offers the same well-being benefits without the pitfalls, right? Fewer social comparisons and less contingent on self-worth, right? So I'm doing me. I'm not comparing to anybody else, right? I'm just figuring out what is me, what's authentically Svava, right? And that's what we're all doing, right? Releasing our authentic self, really finding out what's the truth about me. Who am I deep down behind all the masks that I put on to keep myself safe here, right? And again, yes, and it's not associated with narcissism, right? And again, linked to coping and resilience, it's more effective coping after divorce and chronic pain, less likely to develop PTSD after combat trauma, and less anxiety when people are coping with HIV. So these are some of the outcomes of some of the studies that they've done. Excuse me. It is also linked to motivation. this is something important, my friends. It's linked to motivation, intrinsic motivation, desire to learn and grow, right? When we, right, have that feeling and that experience that, oh, I can help myself to feel better, right? I can make something shift. It's like we reconnect to the innate part of being human, and that's to learn and grow. We're here to learn forever, I think. We are here to experience, have a full embodied experience of all that this life has to offer. But if we are, limiting ourselves because we are scared, it's not safe, we don't trust people, we don't trust ourselves, right? We are not open to that. But when we recognize I can learn and have an experience that are inherent to me, right? It's less about I'm going there to learn to do for others. So, anyways. So, and it's obviously has all kinds of health benefits linked to health, healthier behaviors, linked to healthier body image, eating behavior, um, and less linked to other focused concerns, linked to better relationships, more caring and supportive relationship, less controlling and verbally aggressive. All that makes sense, right? Because when we come out of fight or flight and we come into a socially connected, grounded state, we are inherently kind humans. We inherently aren't here to hurt each other. We know from our evolution we survived because of community. So, also self-compassion for caregivers, less burnout and compassion fatigue. So let me see. I see some comments from you guys here. I've missed so much in my life that may so good to be starting to live more fully now. Yes, Sue, it is so good, right? Celebrate that, my friend. Yes, you're doing it, my friend. You're doing a beautiful job. Rob says, maybe it's my own quirky mind, but I have progress when I reevaluate what words mean as a shortcut to grasping concepts. Like forgiving is well philosophical until I refine the word as freeing me. Nice. Nice, Rob. Hey, Claudia. Hey, friend. How are you? Switzerland in the house. I love that we're all from all over the place. All over the place. How are you doing? How are you doing, Claudia? You're catching us here. I'm just going through some information about self-compassion, my all-time favorite topic, I think. And we are going to meditate, do a very simple self-compassion practice together. And I'm going to do some Reiki. So I welcome you and love to hear how you're doing. And I'm so glad you're here in time for that. So anything else? Any other thoughts? Anything jump out at you? Any questions? Everybody's doing great. I love you guys made all kinds of comments here along the way. So we're all set then. We're all set. So I'm going to invite you then to find yourself a comfortable position. Just more tears because of all of this self-compassion. Hey, Cindy, I am so glad that you're here. So glad. Perfect timing, my friend. So enjoy this little self-compassion, meditation, and Reiki healing. And the thing about Reiki, I'm just here, channeling it or passing it on. It's up to you, my friend, to just in your body, your mind's eye, to say, yes, you're welcome, the healing. And I invite you to maybe set an intention for you. What is it that you would like support with today, energetically? So, because I do believe we are all connected and that we do get help and support from the universe, God, spirit, angels, stars, or trees, whatever you believe in or how that shows up for you. But I do believe we have to ask. We have to open to that connection. So that's your job. And I am not attached to the outcome. I'm just here to serve, my friends. And so with that, I invite you to sit back. I hear you, EJ. I know it can be a little scary, so please be gentle with yourself. It's okay that you are having a hard time. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. And I know it feels scary to open up, to connect. So feel free to participate as you're comfortable. As you're comfortable. And trust, right? This is love. Love will not hurt you. This love will not. So, all right, my friends. So sit back wherever you're sitting in your chair, or even if you're laying down, enjoy. That's okay too. And let's start with 3 deep cleansing breaths. I'm sorry, Claudia, that your legs are painful from the weather. I hope you feel some nurturing here with this gentle mindfulness practice here. So, and with your last big inhale and exhale, as you pull in as much as you can, as much air as you can, and then exhale fully and deeply and release all that you can. All the chatter, all the energy that has been spinning around in your body. And now just come to your normal breath. And you can use an anchor. And what do I mean by that? Using an anchor is your normal breath by following the inhale through your nose and the exhale through your nose. We do that for our mind because our mind likes to stay busy. So giving it something to focus on helps the mind. So while we sit here, I just quickly want to invite you just to feel your feet on the floor, or feel yourself sitting on the chair, or your back being supported by your chair. Just to make contact. You are being held. You are grounded. You are here. And if it feels right to you, I'd like to invite you to either place your hand on your heart or another location that is perhaps soothing and a reminder to bring awareness to yourself. Not just awareness, but loving, kind awareness. And for some of us, it might be placing our hands on our elbows, crisscrossing our elbows, or placing one palm on top of the other. We're being intentional, right? To bring loving awareness to our experience and to ourselves. Now, before we turn the self-compassion onto ourselves, I want to invite us to explore sending loving kindness for a loved one. So bring to mind a person or a living being who naturally makes you smile. This could be a child, a grandmother, your cat, or your dog. Whomever naturally brings happiness and warmth to your heart. My grandma, says Claudia. Yes, I hear you. My grandma holds a really special place in my heart, and just thinking about her makes my heart feel warm. Now letting yourself feel what it's like to be in that being's presence. Just take a moment. Allowing yourself to enjoy the good company. And do your best to create a vivid image of this being in your mind's eye, or in a way that supports you. Take your time with this. Take your time with this. And now let's recognize how this being that you care for and love wishes to be happy and free from suffering, just like you and every other living being. So together or quietly or out loud, you get to choose what supports you. Let's repeat softly and gently, and feeling the importance of these words. Thinking of your person and saying to them, may you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. You can use these words or you can use your own. Something that captures your deepest wishes for your loved one. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And if your mind starts to wander, Just return to the words and the image of your loved one that you have in your mind, and you can savor the warm feelings that may arise. Take your time. Now let's add yourself to your circle of goodwill, creating an image of yourself in the presence of your loved ones, visualizing you both together. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be healthy. May we live with ease. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be healthy. May we live with ease. Now letting go of the image of the other and letting the full focus of your attention now rest directly on yourself. And as you do this, please know that I'm now sending Reiki. And I invite you to put your hand on your heart or elsewhere and feel that warmth and that gentle pressure of your hand. Now visualizing your whole body in your mind's eye. Noticing any stress or any uneasiness that may be lingering within you. And offering yourself these phrases. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And with that loving kindness in our hearts, I want to invite us all to extend love from our hearts and out to all that belong in our community, that are here or watching the replay. And we say thanks for all the survivors that have gone before us. And we bow down in gratitude for their courage, for their strength and their willingness to do the hard work to lay down the path for us. We could not be here without them. And we welcome and open our circle of healing to anyone that is seeking love and support and validation and encouragement on this journey. We are here, we are here, we are here. And I know you all extend that love and kindness to all the people in your circles, your friends, your family, your cities, your countries, because that's your superpower, my friend. To be intentional about sending loving kindness to your fellow beings. Yes, we cannot fix people, heal people, right? That is something each and every one does in our own time, in our own terms, but we can make it safe for people. Do our best to be an example and experience of a safe, kind human being, right? Without an agenda or an attachment, just because. Be loving and kind. And of course, start with you. And with that, my friends, I invite you to take 2 deep cleansing breaths. I know we've gone over our time just a little bit here. If you want to share how you feel, I hope this supported you where you are today. It certainly felt good for me. Cindy says, my inner child wants to be happy as she's getting there and I'm at peace. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, to our friends in Europe, may this support you into some deep sleep. Good rest tonight. Thank you so much for being here as always. Of course, Rob, each of you here, your hearts and your spirits are felt, are valued and appreciated always. Thank you, friends. I will be back here next week, same time, same place. Take good care. Good, Sue. Good. So glad to hear that it helped you guys to relax. Yes. When we relax, we can rest, digest, and heal. All right, sweet friends, thank you again, as always. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take good care. And if you're curious about the audiobook or my trauma recovery services support, you will see the links underneath the video. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Have a good weekend. And before I forget, I'm just going to hold up the card that I pulled for all of us. And of course, it felt perfect. We all have wings. We all have wings. Good night, everyone.